if we eat the same thing, she doesn't gain weight. So why is dieting so difficult for us? Let me suggest just 3 things. Yes, that is absolutely correct indeed. Hello, let me introduce myself. I'm Sua Oh, a professional curator at Atomy. Before we start, may I ask you a question? You've all tried various things to lose weight, right? You've tried not eating, holding back, even starving yourself at least once, right? Right? Back in our 20s, honestly, just skipping 1 or 2 meals would make us lose 2 or 3 kilograms easily. Isn't that right? But why is it so hard now to even lose just 500 grams? So then, why is dieting so difficult for us now? Is it because I lack willpower? Absolutely not. It's because our bodies have changed. As we get older, our basal metabolic rate starts to drop significantly, and our bodies become more prone to storing fat. But the real problem is that the risk and range of diseases we can be exposed to increases significantly. There are research findings about this, so let's take a look together. If visceral fat increases by 1 kilogram, the risk of colorectal disease in men doubles. But for women, it increases 7-fold. In addition, for every 1 kilogram increase in body fat, the risk of cardiovascular disease rises by 16% in men, but by 32% in women. So, managing our weight and body fat is no longer just a choice for looking good. It has become an essential factor in protecting our health. But everyone, starving yourself will never help you lose weight. That's why you need a strategy. You need to change your body so that it absorbs less fat and burns it off more easily. So, I will suggest exactly 3 things. Block, burn, and empty. These are what you need to remember. First, you need to block fat from accumulating. And second, you need to effectively burn off the fat that has already accumulated. And finally, you need to clear out your system completely and thoroughly. This is important. You need to remember these 3 things. But the important thing is, you always wish you could lose fat rather than muscle, right? If that's the case, you should take a look at Slim Body Fossa Applephenon. Can eating just one of these jellies really help you lose weight? You might be thinking that, so let me show you the results first. These are the results of a human application experiment. When taken, the weight, waist circumference, and hip circumference, which we all want to reduce, decreased and abdominal visceral fat was lost. This is what's important. From now on, I'll explain the core principles of how fat accumulates in our bodies and how we can prevent it. So how does this fat accumulate? We eat food. Then, as it passes through the stomach, small intestine, and large intestine, nutrients are absorbed along the way. But the real problem is this thing called fat. It's a major issue. Now, everyone, since we already have a lot of fat in our bodies, it feels like fat would stick to us even more easily, right? But actually, fat doesn't just enter our bodies with a free pass. This is important. Our small intestine has a smart enzyme that's called the fat inspector. When fat comes in, it doesn't just let it through with a free pass. It asks, are you really okay to enter? You can't get in like this. It says, you have to be broken down, and broken down again. Only then can you enter my body. So, the fat tries its best to break down, and make its way into our bodies. Here's one important thing. This enzyme, everyone has a different standard for it. It varies from person to person. That's why, even if we eat the same thing, some people don't gain weight. You know, people say things like, I guess they're just the type who doesn't gain weight. There are people who say things like this. For these people, the enzyme that screens fat is just really picky. So unless the fat is broken down really well, the enzyme doesn't like it and says, don't come in. Then if you have a lot of belly fat, for us, the enzyme is too relaxed, almost excessively so. It should be working, but no matter who comes, it's happy and just lets everything in. To sum up, fat can only enter if it gets a stamp of approval from the screening enzyme. So what if we tell our fat inspector, the enzyme, not to let anything in, to block entry no matter who comes? By blocking fat from coming in ahead of time, we prevent weight gain from the start. This is a strategy of outright rejection at the door. The amazing thing that plays this role is called Applephenon. But what comes before Applephenon for us? It's the word green apple that comes before it. Not all apples are the same. These are fresh, slightly bitter green apples that are packed with components that block fat. Green apples contain more than 10 times the amount of polyphenols compared to regular apples. So even just eating green apples can have a dieting effect. But to see definite results, you need to consume about 600 milligrams a day. But everyone, to get 600 milligrams from apples, you would have to eat 45 of them. You could actually choke and die from eating that many apples. That's why they concentrate green apples 250 times and extract only the high purity polyphenols. This is what's called Applephenon. When is the best time to take it? It's good to take it before meals because it helps prevent fat absorption, which is great. Another good time is when you feel a bit peckish in the afternoon, around 3 or 4 o'clock. Just take out 2 like a snack and it's really perfect. So why should it be Atomy's Applephenon? This is very clear. Our Atomy product has a functional certification mark. This means it can help reduce body fat. So even though it looks like a jelly, it's not just any jelly. It's a health functional food. With Applephenon, it plays a role in preventing fat from sticking to your body before it gets absorbed. Then we need something that can burn the fat that's already in your body. And that is Pu'er Tea. Pu'er Tea is synonymous with dieting. Why is that? It's because its key ingredient is gallic acid. Gallic acid prevents fat from accumulating, breaks down fat, promotes metabolism, and helps improve blood cholesterol levels. But gallic acid isn't only found in Pu'er Tea. It's also found in green tea. The important point here is that during the fermentation process, Pu'er Tea produces as much as 13 times more gallic acid than green tea. That's why people say Pu'er Tea equals diet. It's good, let's drink it. So, to see the maximum effect, you need to consume about 35 milligrams of gallic acid. But in 1 cup of Pu'er Tea that you drink at home, there's only about 1.06 milligrams of gallic acid. So to see any effect, you'd have to drink more than 34 cups of Pu'er Tea. If you tried to drink that much, you'd end up spending the whole day boiling tea and it would be exhausting. But Atomy Pu'er Tea comes in exactly 1 gram packets. Each 1 gram packet is packed with 35 milligrams of gallic acid. So you only need to take 1 packet. Just 1 packet is enough. So, not all Pu'er Teas are the same, even if they're called Pu'er Tea. The Pu'er Tea you buy at the supermarket or online often has something written on the back, and in many cases it says solid tea under the food type. This solid tea literally refers to teas like barley tea or green tea that we usually drink. Then you can assume that this tea has almost no effect on reducing body fat or aiding in dieting because it is not a health functional food recognized for its functionality by the Ministry of Food and Drug Safety. That's the key point. Now everyone, it's actually quite difficult to get certified by the Ministry of Food and Drug Safety. So what do other places do? Most of them are released as solid teas. So from now on, you just need to remember 2 things. What's the first one? Is it an individually recognized health functional food approved by the Ministry of Food and Drug Safety? And what's the second one? Does it contain 35 milligrams of gallic acid per daily intake? That's what you need to check. When should you take it? It's great to have a packet of Pu'er Tea after a meal instead of coffee. Since it helps reduce body fat and improve cholesterol, Pu'er Tea after meals is really, really good. So, up to now we've blocked fat from entering. And we've also managed to effectively burn off the fat that's already attached. Lastly, what's the most unwelcome guest that shows up first when you go on a diet? Constipation. Even though we exercise hard and control our diet, our bodies still don't feel light. Why is that? It's because of that guest, residual stool, right? What you need is Psyllium Husk, which helps you have a refreshing and satisfying bowel movement. From now on, you and I are going to work together to thoroughly empty your insides with Psyllium Husk. Let me show you the experiment results first. They gave 5 grams of Psyllium Husk to 22 Americans with poor colon function for 8 weeks. And not only did their bowel movement frequency improve, but the quality of their stool turned into the ideal golden poop. And the pain during bowel movements also decreased. Secondly, they conducted a 26-week experiment on people whose blood cholesterol levels were at a risky level and found that both total cholesterol and LDL, the bad cholesterol, decreased. In short, if you take Psyllium Husk, you'll have better bowel movements and your cholesterol levels will drop significantly. So, what ingredient makes this possible? What is psyllium husk made from? It's made from the husk of the plantain seed, and it's 80% dietary fiber. So, the important question is, how much do you need to take for it to be effective? The Ministry of Food and Drug Safety has set clear guidelines for this. If you take more than 5,000 milligrams per day, it helps improve bowel movements, and if you take more than 6,000 milligrams, it helps improve blood cholesterol levels. Let me explain why it has these effects and how it works in our bodies. First, when psyllium husk enters our body, it absorbs moisture just like a sponge, soaking it all up. So what happens is the psyllium husk, which started out as a very fine powder, absorbs water again and again, and it expands up to 40 times its original size, swelling up like a huge jelly. Because the psyllium husk absorbs a lot of water and swells up in your stomach, it naturally gives you a feeling of fullness and helps prevent overeating. Then as this psyllium husk, now expanded to 40 times its size, fills up your intestines, it really starts to move around in earnest, here and there, all over the place. So the psyllium husk grabs onto all the old waste, residue, and even stubborn toxins that have been stuck to the inside of your intestines like grime, and then it sweeps them all out just like this. Swoosh! The important thing is that psyllium husk really loves water. So you need to drink plenty of water to experience its effects. And as I mentioned earlier, taking more than 6,000 milligrams a day can greatly help improve cholesterol levels. When you eat fatty foods, your cholesterol naturally goes up as well. In these cases, if you take psyllium husk, the dietary fiber wraps around the cholesterol entering your body and simply sends it out of your system. This is great, right? So psyllium husk can help with both bowel movements and improving cholesterol. You can take care of everything with it. And one more thing. These days, there are so many psyllium husk products on the market. But no matter how good psyllium husk is, you shouldn't just take any product. Most psyllium husk is made from imported ingredients. And with imported ingredients, you can't really check where they came from, whether they contain heavy metals, pesticides, or toxins. That's why you need to carefully check whether the product has a health functional food certification mark. Also, psyllium husk usually doesn't taste good. But you know that Atomy's psyllium husk tastes like plum juice, right? It's sweet and tangy, so you can enjoy it in a refreshing and delicious way. It's rare to find psyllium husk that tastes good. If you divide your daily intake into 3 packets, morning, noon, and evening, you can greatly reduce the burden on your stomach, feel full, and even prevent overeating. Lastly, I made a schedule for you. Take psyllium husk before breakfast, lunch, and dinner. Have Applephenon as your afternoon snack. And after lunch, drink cucumber tea instead of coffee. If you eat a lot of greasy food, have Pu'er Tea as well. It's great to take these strategically. Use Applephenon to prevent fat from accumulating, burn off existing fat with Pu'er Tea, and clear out your system with psyllium husk as part of your routine. I hope you try changing your body constitution once and for all. Be sure to give it a try. I hope you take care of your health with this perfect combination of Applephenon, Pu'er Tea, and psyllium husk. This has been Osehwa, your trusted creator.